So good morning once again and welcome to the Parkhill playing field for the second T20 game between NEPAL and the Windward Island Volcanoes. And the Windward Island Volcanoes would be in the field, NEPAL winning the toss and decided to bat first. And starting lineup for NEPAL would be Bortel, Sheikh, Shah, Fordell, Jeha, Airy, Jora, Kami, Bohara, GC and Rajbanshi. That's the starting lineup for the NEPAL team. And Windward Island Volcanoes will be Kimani Milios, Kabim Hodge, Shadrach Descarte, Nicholas Redhead, Larry Edwards, Dylan Douglas, Stephen Pascal, Darren Ned, Hakeem Ogis, Otney Lewis and Asif Hooper. So that's the starting lineup in the first game. NEPAL winning the first game on Tuesday by some 4 wickets. We recall Windward Islands Volcanoes got 196 for 6. And NEPAL winning that game by some 4 wickets, getting 197 for 6 as well. So the umpires are out. In umpires Butler and Bayom. Very picturesque ground here at the Parkhill. Not a very large outfield, and players now making their way out in the middle. As you can see, Windward Island Volcanoes going out, and here comes the opening pair for NEPAL. That's Bortel, Sheikh, when the sun goes down, everybody's high, we ain't coming down. So Asif Sheikh, Mohammed Asif Sheikh. So Bortel spotted number 4, number 14 on the back of his shirt. Asif number 9. And let's see. Seems as if Hodge is going to start the attack. So Windward's in this second encounter will be starting with spin. And it's like Bortel who will take the first knock. Let's see, so there is a slip. There is a third man inside the 30-yard circle, backward point, extra cover. There is a mid-off, long on, deep mid-wicket, and a square leg and a short mid-wicket. So Kabim Hodge, left arm orthodox, he would bowl between umpire and the stumps, and he'll be bowling 2. Bortel, who is surveying the field as Butler takes his time out to square leg. So all is set, as it's going to be Hodge round the wicket, and he's working that down to long on. They threw for 1. So immediately Bortel is off the mark, and NEPAL now 1 without loss as Asif comes in to strike. Hodge still bowling from round the wicket. 2 right-handers at the crease. This time he's down the leg side, not taken cleanly there. It looks like Douglas, and wide signal by Bayom. Total goes on to 2 without loss as Hodge once more in. He's looking to sweep top edge. Someone is coming wrong, and here he goes looking to sweep that. Got a top edge slip, moving around to a leg slip position, took the catch, and Asif makes his way back. So a bad start here for NEPAL. 2 for 1 as Asif looking to it is. Quicker delivery, and Bertil was on the back foot and forced it down to long on for a single. So over number 1 comes to an end. A successful over by Hodge, and a very good over indeed. Nepal 4-4-1 at the end of the first over. So it looks like Redhead going to pick it up from the northern end. Bowling starting from the southern end in bright sunshine here at Park Hill. No threat whatsoever of rain, and in fact morning being pretty hot, pretty steamy, and the players would have to keep themselves hydrated. So it's going to be Bertil who would take strike. He's marking his guard, and as Melius trying to marshal his forces. So Redhead just from the 30-yard circle. Driven sweetly through covers by Bertil. He likes it coming onto the bat. That was pitched up, and he was in the approved fashion, driving it past extra cover, who just watched it go past him and into the fence for 4. The total now goes on to 8. And Bertil, with that, he goes on to 6. And a good comeback delivery there by Redhead. And you can see Bertil just watching it, judging it, and allowing it to go through to the keeper. Douglas standing back. Good carry to Douglas. Surface has been pretty true, and batters are comfortable driving through the line. And Bertil would like that. And a good delivery inside edge, and they threw for a single out to square leg, tidied up. So he moves on to 7. The total now on to 9. We are in over number 2. So Anil, who is on 1, comes into strike. And has good delivery, and rising. I think Anil had to pull that hand off, hitting more to the shoulder of the bat. And he's doing some adjustments to his pad now, replacing his mittens. So having been struck for a boundary of the very first delivery of his over, Redhead has come back pretty strongly and just trying to tighten things up. And he's guiding that down to third man. Lewis is down there, Fields, and they threw for a single. The total now goes into double figures. It's on 10 for 1. I think 1 delivery remaining in this over. I'm sure that Redhead would want to finish very strong, and Bertil may have other ideas. He's on 7. With him is Anil, who is on 2. 1 extra, having lost Asif for a duck. And he's forcing that out to extra cover. Knocked down once a single is not there. Descarte knocking it down. So good finish by Redhead. Over that cost him some 6 runs. And at the end of over number 2, it's 10 for 1. And Hodge would pick it up from the southern end. This will be his second over number 3. So NEPAL within the toss and batting here. And Windward's now looking. Hodge doing some adjustments, strengthening that offside. Buttle is driving past extra cover 4 runs. That was tossed up and he drove it. It was intentional in the air between the square cover and extra cover and down to the boundary for 4. Total now on to 14 and he goes on to 11. He's driving down to long on the bounce. Lewis tidies up, gets a single. Total now on to 15 and Bottle he moves on to 12. So Anil comes into, it was Anil who had that boundary rather. Bottle down the track, lifts it out to long on, and beautiful piece of work by Lewis long on the long on boundary. They come back for the second. So he has saved himself, saved the team 2 runs. And Hodge now acknowledging the effort there by Lewis. So both batters are on 7. And it's now Bottle who comes into strike. Bottle comes back into strike. He goes on to 9. The total now on to 17. And dead ball signal there by Bayam. And looking to sweep that. And taking on the pad, half-hearted appeal. No run. Total remains on 17. 17 for 1. We are in over number 3. Hodge dabbles his hand in the dirt. But goes Bertel out to backward point. Milias covering ground to his right. Fields no run. So a dot goes into the scorecard. And he's looking to work that on the onside. Take down the pad. Over comes to an end. Some 7 runs in that over. So 17 for 1 at the end of over number 3. So Hodge finishing his second over. So 2 overs, 1 for 11. Redhead 1 over for 6. And he will pick it up from the northern end. So one noticeable change from the Windward Island Volcanoes is that they have left out one of their faster bowlers and they have included the off spinner. So Lewis makes his way off to get some attention, having made that save on the boundary. And it is driving out through extra cover. Mid off covering grounds very quickly, smartly fields and returns, keeps it down to a single. Total goes on to 18. So Anil with that single, he goes on to 8. And it's Bertel who is on 9. Comes into strike. 18 for 1. We're in over number 4. But he'll get a yorker, he digs it out. Once a single is not there, Descarte coming in like a train from that short extra cover position. And a good delivery there by Redhead. And looking for the drive, it wasn't there. In the end, had to come pretty hard down on it. But he's driving out to mid-off. Once a single, this could be dangerous. And he misses. Had that hit, he certainly would have been walking back to the pavilion. He goes into double figures. He's now 10, the total onto 19. Very risky single there taken by Bortel. But fortunately for him, mid-off had it through and missed. So Anil comes back into strike. He's on 8. Bortel, the non-striker, is on 10. 19 for 1. Still in over number 4. Down the leg side. And perhaps taken on the pad. And there is no run. Lovely sunshine here at Park Hill. Nice cooling breeze blowing through our commentary position. This time he's looking to drive. Aerial shot, clearing defense. It gone all the way. That's 6. Was pitched up, not timing it well, but it has good carry. Still clearing the boundary here by a few meters. So 6 to Anil. He moves on to 14, and the total now on to 25. 25 for 1. Still in over number 4. I guess a Yorker, he takes it out. They go through for 1. The return comes in once more. Knocked down there by Redhead. And they threw for a single again. Very suicidal single, but fortunately he got away with it. So at the end of over number 4, the total 26 for 1. So at the moment they're going at 6.5 runs and over. Windwards would feel very happy with that. And let's see, there is a change in bowling at the southern end. So Hodge has been pulled out of the attack. And Descarte would pick it up from the southern end to bowl over number 5. So Bertil on 10. Anil, he's on 15. He's driving off the outside edge, just short of third man, who knocks it down. He gets a single. And luckily for him, that could have easily be carried into the hands of short third man, just around the 30-yard circle. So Anil getting a single there. He goes on to 16. The total now on to 27. 27 for 1 as Bortil comes back into strike. Striving square, but there's a sweeper on the boundary and keeps it down to a single. Total now on to 28, but it goes on to 11. Anil, who is on 16, comes back into strike, so there's rotation of the strike here at Park Hill. And that was short, and he was using his feet. And he saw it. I saw him advancing, dropped it short, but he got on top of it and hammered it between the backward point and extra cover. And he picked up a boundary. So he's taking the aggression. He's been the aggressor, taking his total, his tally now on to 20, total on to 32. fanning at that outside. The off stump misses, taken cleanly by Douglas, standing back. He rehearses the shot. So it's 32 for 1 in over number 5. Shadrach Descarte. And there was Anil just holding up his hand, and Descarte had to abort his run. His drive in the air, this would clear the fence. It does. That's 6. Pitch top and deliberately lifting it over extra cover, carrying all the way to the fence for 6, and the total goes on to 38 for 1. Some 12 runs already in this over, with some 2 boundaries, 4 through backward point, now 6 over extra cover. And again, he's off the outside edge, down to a wide third man on the boundary, keeps it down to a single. Total goes on to 39. So Anil goes on to 27. So he's taking the bulk of the deliveries and doing the scoring. Bertil playing the holding role. 27 to Anil, 11 to Bertil. And let's see who is going to pick it up from this the northern end. It appears as if it's going to be Larry Edwards. So Anil and Bertil forging a pretty decent partnership here between these two. Some 37 run partnership. With Anil doing the bulk of the scoring. He has 27. And he'll be on strike as Larry Edwards. From the northern end, he's going to bowl between umpire. It looks like he's going to come between umpire and the stumps. Just doing a little adjustments to his field. He's tipped on the pad. Again, half-hearted appeal. And they're looking to work it on the onside. And there is no run. And he sweeps and into the fence, 1 bounce for 4, and he moves on to 31. The total now on to 43 for 1. We are in over number 6, and immediately we see Captain Milius making some adjustments. And he lifts that high over extra cover. That's gone for 6. So again, Anil really being the aggressor. He hustles on to 37. And the total now on to 49. 49 for 1. We are in over number 6. So Larry Edwards being put under early pressure here by Anil. Looks around. And that was a Yorker-led delivery, well bowled. But Anil digs it out. And there is no run. I think he was looking for an aggressive shot. That was right up, faster, flatter, and right up in the block hole. Sweeps again. And this would clear the fence now for 6. And up goes the hand of umpire Butler. So 6 more to Anil, who moves on to 43. The total now on to 55. And Anil decides he's going to take the attack to the bowlers. He's a Bortil who is really a spectator at the other end, as Anil continues to take the attack to the bowler. So Edwards under pressure. Goes back and he works it down to a long on. They hustle for one. They're going to come back for the second. No. A loud scream and well taken there. Not the best of throw, but there was Douglas climbing, plucking it out of the air. The total goes on to 56. So some 17 or so runs coming in that over. And Edwards first over, an expensive one. And immediately we see Descartes being pulled out of the attack. So at the end of over number 7, 56. 56 for 1. So going at 8 runs and over. And they would want to. And Asif Hooper is going to pick it up from the southern end. So Descartes given that 1 over, being pulled out of the attack. And Asif Hooper, left arm orthodox, comes in. So it's going to be Anil, who is on 44 to take strike. So Bortil has been away from the strike for some time. Goes back, cuts to backward point, beats him, and that's 4. Short of a length, and he was on the back foot, cutting it past Melius at backward point into defense for 4. He goes on to 48. Total now on to 60. 60 for 1. And we are in over number 8. Hooper between the umpire and the stumps. Umpire Byam signaling dead ball. And as they push it out to short extra cover, they go through for a single. Misses. Looking for a second. No, says Bortil. And he goes on to 49. Total now on to 61. 61 for 1. So Bortil, who has been a spectator for some time, he comes in to strike now. Just retaking his guard from umpire Byam. And he goes back, works it out to mid-wicket. He'll get a single. So he moves on to 12. And it's Anil, who is on 49, comes back into strike with a total 62 for 1. Goes back and looks, force it out to extra cover. No run. 62 for 1, the total remains. He's swinging that out too long on. Now comes off the boundary fields, keeps it down to a single. So it's 52 Anil. So well played 50 as the total goes on to 63. And there is Bortil working it off his pads out to mid-wicket. Gets a single. The total now on to 60. Goes on to 13. But a well played 50 by Anil. How many fours and how many sixes? So Descartes is going to shift to the northern end, and so over number 8 comes up. How many balls? Yeah, how many balls? But there was Anil, 25 balls for his 50, 4 fours and 4 sixes. So we're in over number 8, just about to start. Descarte, just about marking out his run. Perhaps looking for just scratching at the surface there. So at the end of over number 7, it's 64 for 1. Bertil on strike. And he slaps that over extra cover. And sweeper comes off the boundary, keeps it down to a single. He goes on to 14. Total now on to 65 for 1. So very good partnership here between these two. Some 62 runs. And it is flashing at that outside yard stump, not taken cleanly by the keeper. And they scamper through for a bye. Let's wait. Yes, here comes the signaler from umpire Butler. Total now on to 66 for 1 in over number 8. But he slashes at that over third man and he clears the rope. I think that would be 6. Umpire Butler now signals. So 6 to Bertil. It was outside the awesome, gave him width, and he threw the bat of it. It peeled off the outside edge and flew over third man, clearing the fence. He goes on to 20, and the total now on to 72. 72 for 1. We're in over number 8. So the run rate increasing gradually. And he's whipping that out to mid-wicket. Who fields on the bounce. Edwards was covering grounds, couldn't get there. And Descartes not happy with the effort. But Larry Edwards not going, risking himself. And just allowed it to drop in front of him and picked it up on the bounce. The total goes on to 73. And Bertil goes on to 21. So Anil, who is on 50, comes back into strike. And he's whipping that out to square leg. Hodge takes a beautiful catch out on the square leg boundary, diving in front of us right here. And Anil makes his way back. It was whipped off the pads in the air. Hodge judged it well, diving forward and claiming the catch. And he goes back for 50. And the breakthrough that Windward's wanted. It's now 73 for 2. And finally, they have broken that partnership. A very productive one for Nepal between Bertil and Anil. And Descartes now taking the catch, as you can see on the monitor. Yeah, where Hodge judged it well, dived forward and came up with the catch. So he goes back for 50 of some 26 deliveries, hitting some 4 fours and 3 and 4 sixes. And we can see now that's number 17. Rohit Padel, the captain, makes his way out. He has number 17 on the back of his shirt. Padel, the captain. So it's Descartes with some success under his belt. And a good delivery. His defense out to long on. Who they're hustling for one. They're coming back for the second. Lewis comes off the boundary. The return comes in, but they will get too easily, and they do. And at the end of over number 8, it goes on to 75. 75 for 2. As over number 8 comes to an end. So immediately Podell is off the mark. He's on 2. Bertil is on 21. And Hooper will continue from this there. The southern end now gives his hat to to umpire Byam. I see they're having a word with his captain Melios. See Douglas just adjusting the field. So Bertil would be on strike. So 85 for 2 at the completion of over number 8. Sweeps very nicely out to square leg. Descarte comes off the boundary. And Fields keeps it down to a single. The total goes on to 76. 76 for 2. And Podell comes into strike. He's driving out to extra cover. They go through for 1. They'll get it easily. Good judgment of a single. Total goes on to 77. 77 for 2 in over number 9. Again, he sweeps it nicely. This could run away for 4. There's no man that fine leg. It goes across the ropes now. Well played there by Bertil. Just scooping it over to the fine leg region and getting himself a boundary. He goes on to 26. And the total now on to 80. 81. 81 for 2. Win over number 9. Bertil is driving out to extra cover, wants a single. A shout of no as Rohit was backing up. And luckily for him, he gets back into his crease. Total remains 81. He's driving beautifully square of the wicket, 4 runs. You can see it was pitched up and he opened the face of the bat, the extra cover fielder and the sweeper on the boundary. And he picks up 4. So he's now 85. 85 for 2. And with that boundary, Bertil goes on to 24. Kenny plays it out to short extra cover. They want a single. Larry Edwards was covering ground. Couldn't keep it down. Couldn't pick it up. Total goes on to 85. So at the end of over number 9, it's 85 for 2. 25 to Bertil. It's Rohit. In fact, it's Rohit on 9 and Bertil on. So it's Captain Rohit Podell who will take strike. And on strikers end. So Bertil has been there from the inception. Started the innings. But he's still there. He's lifting that out too long off. This would drop inside the boundary and it goes across the ropes. And that's 4. That mid-off being up. Deliberate shot there by Bertil to a delivery that was pitched up. And he moves on to 28. The total now on to 92. It out to mid-wicket, who races off the boundary. Larry Edwards picks up, keeps it down to a single. And the total now on to 93. 93 for 2. As Bertil signals to the pavilion for some water. It's a pretty hot day. And Captain Rohit comes back into strike. And open the face to backward point. Melios is there. And there is no run. Rohit looks rather busy. He's on 16. Soft hands out to extra cover. And he gets a single. Total now on to 94. 94 for 2. fact, Rohit, he moves on to 18 and being blocked a bit by the scorer. But Bertil, who should be on 25, face the final delivery of the 10th over. He advances and lifts it out to mid-off. Long on, he's taken. He mistimed it. He was looking to go over mid-off, inside edge. And long on, coming off the boundary, Otney Lewis took well-judged catch. Bertil goes back. And it's now 94 for 3. And a disappointing end there for Bertil. But success for the Windwards. And the Windwards will be very happy. So it's Bertil now making his way back. Earlier we see Asif making his way back to the pavilion. Partnership being broken. So at the completion of over number 9, that should be over number 10, as Jora makes his way out. So Jora joins his captain. So it's going to be Ned. Good ball. He wants a single, but he has scamper back into his crease. So Ned, good start for him. And total remains on 94. Jora, after 10.3 overs, good delivery, taking on the pad, and Byam now signals leg byes. Total now it's 98 for 3. So Ned wants to make further inroads for the Windwards. And beautifully played, but well fielded by Descartes at fine leg, but that was well played by Rohit, the captain. Just swiveled and traveled very quickly, but Descartes was in the right position, picked it up on the bounce. Total remains on 98. So far, a pretty tidy over by Ned. Sure, he'll want to finish very strongly. Okay, gets a Yorker. And there was Rohit just digging it out and getting a single out to mid-wicket. And he goes on to 19. The total now on to 99. So at the end of over number 11 in 99 for 3. It's going at 9 runs and over. And we see Asif Hooper, change of end. Started out from the southern end. Now he's been shifted to the northern end. And Rohit Padel, captain of Nepal, he's on 19. Jora, who has recently joined him, he's on 2. And it's going to be Rohit Padel on strike. So there's some players in the distance. There is a long on, a deep mid-wicket, long off, a backward point on defense. Sweeps by Rohit out to deep mid-wicket. Descarte comes off the boundary, keeps it down to a single. So 100 comes up for Nepal in 11.1 overs. And Rohit goes on to 20. Chora goes back, forces it out to extra cover. There is no run. Quicker delivery. He had to come down pretty quickly on that. Hustled him a bit there. Striving is out, caught. You can hear it from here. Driving, beautifully taken there by Douglas. And he went up immediately. That was pitched up outside the autumn. He was driving, getting an outside edge. Douglas took it gleefully. And there it is. The disappointment there by Jora as he makes his way back. So he goes back for 2. 100 for 4 here. Nepal batting first here at Park Hill as the players seize the opportunity to refresh themselves. So too the umpires. Pretty hot day here at Park Hill. Bright sunshine. It looks like Colbin makes his way out. To join Captain Padel. So this time a left-hander comes out to do battle. So it's less, so we have a left-hand right-hand combination. And Hooper playing in front of his home crowd. This is his home village. Picking up that scalp in his second spell. And he'll bowl over the wicket to the left-handed Gulshan. Gulshan goes back and plays it out to backward point, and there was Captain Melius moving smartly to his right. Picks up, keeps it down to no run. And he's forward defensive. He works it out to short mid-wicket. Hooper moving smartly to his right. Again keeping it down to no run. So tight over here by Asif Hooper, and a successful one indeed as well. I think just 1 run coming off the over so far. And he goes back, works it out to square leg. They go through for 1. They would settle for that as the total goes on to 101 for 4 at the completion of over number 12. And a good over by Asif Hooper. 2 runs coming in that over and a wicket as well. And we can see Melius now having a word with Hooper. Perhaps Ned will continue. So there's Gulshan Cheha, who is on 1. He will take strike. And it's going to be Ned. To continue. So Gaishan having taken guard. He's on 1, looks around the field. As Ned skips in. He's taken on the body. They scamper through for 1. And in the end, good running there by Captain Padel. Just shadowing it, just allowing Ned to go past him. And that was taken on the pad. They scamper through for a leg by. And total now on to 102. 102. for 4. So Ned and now bowl to Captain Rohit Padel. It's down the track, drive square. Hodge, nice piece of work by Hodge, keeps it down to a single. And they're going through for a second. The return comes in, he's out, run out. Not smart cricket there on the part of Gaishan, looking to steal a single, and just lobbed it to Douglas, and he was run out by some distance. But he lobbed it to Ned the bowler, and he was run out by some distance. So 102 now for 5, 103 for 5.